Welcome back to another video. So a couple of weeks ago, Aaron, our cameraman, brought you up here to WrapGuard to see our PPF install starting to take place. Well, today we've come to collect the car, so let's get inside, meet Nick and see how the car's looking.
So for the last couple of weeks we've been working on the Dream Automotive Honda Civic Type R, doing something we don't normally do. So we've got a nice colour change PPF on it, we've completed the full car. Yeah, it's been rather interesting, but here she is.
So we're back at Dream and I'm absolutely blown away with how good the car is looking now. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to wash it for another week or so to let the new vinyl adhere to the paintwork, but it's been a big change going from the black paint to the now green colour that it's looking. So obviously looking forward to getting it outside in some direct sunlight and seeing it all come to life. In the time being though, we're going to get straight back into the thick of it, and today we've got one of the brand new Milltek exhausts to get fitted. That's also going to be accompanied by some wind deflectors. So I've chosen the genuine Honda wind deflectors there, but we'll also look at the Mugen version to compare the differences of the two. Whilst we're on the subject of making the car make a little bit more noise, we're also going to be accompanying that with a Turbosmart dump valve. We'll get it all fitted up, we'll get it back on the dyno and see if there's any increases in power from the exhaust, and ultimately get some sound clips out of it as well. We previously fitted a set of the Mugen wind deflectors on a customer Tim's car. Now his car, we fitted the wind deflectors and put the car on the dyno at the same time to see if it's comparable to the results that we were getting from our FL5. If you haven't already, go back and check out that video, but today we're also going to do a direct comparison of the genuine Honda wind deflectors against the Mugen. So I'll get these unboxed and we'll look at some of the differences. That's the genuine Honda wind deflectors unboxed now, and initially on first inspection we can see that we've been upgraded since the FK8 kits. We've now got metal clips which hold these wind deflectors into the door rubbers, but also we've got a few strips of vinyl here. Looks like it's double-sided perhaps, or it could even be protection film. I need to find out exactly where these are going first before we do the install. Before we get to that, we'll compare against the Mugen deflectors and see some of the differences. So on the initial look over the wind deflectors, you can see some of the differences straight away. So clearly the genuine Honda are a lot darker than the more transparent Mugen deflectors. On the Mugens, we've obviously got the groove which runs from the front all the way across to the rear deflector. We've also got Mugen badge and Mugen logos embossed into the rear. I'm not sure if you can see that closely enough. but it's effectively the same thing, just a slight different style and design of it. The reason why I've chosen for the genuine Honda deflectors is because for me it feels a lot more reminiscent of the old 90s Hondas where I started seeing them coming over from Japan with the big sort of bulged wind deflector. I also feel that it suits the lines of the FL5 a lot more, so should look the part when fitted to the car. So for the moment the wind deflectors can wait a little bit. We've got the Milltek exhaust to unbox next, so we'll get it out the box, see how it looks and get it fitted to the car. That's the exhaust unboxed, and clearly we've gone for one of the noisy versions as we've got no silencers in the centre section there. So once the valve is open, we're going to effectively have a straight through exhaust. We're expecting a bit of noise out of this. Unfortunately though, in the unpacking of the exhaust, we have spotted a little bit of damage. It looks like the exhaust may have been dropped in the couriers bringing it to us, which entails a little bit of damage to the tips. However, we have been on the phone to Milltek and they are sending out a few replacements for us, so that won't stop us in what we're doing. We'll still get the exhaust on the car today and on the dyno. So whilst we've been unpacking the exhaust and having a look over the wind deflectors, Ryan's been stripping down at the front there, ready to fit the Turbosmart dump valve. I think he's nearly in place, so we'll have a quick look, see what's going on underneath the engine bay. So the exhaust is stripped off now and we've got the new heat shield in place. What you'll see here is we've got two connectors. So one is the original Honda wiring and the second is a Romeo sound controller. So we initially fitted a sound controller to the car to see if there's going to be any difference in varying the sound of the stock exhaust. It made very small difference and unfortunately no difference in power on the dyno. We'll still leave the wiring in place though, because this may add a benefit to us when fitting aftermarket exhaust, then again we can vary the sounds. So we'll get the rest of the exhaust fitted up now and see how it sounds. So whilst we were working up the front and we had the front pipe off the car, it made a good opportunity to get to the front lower engine mount. So with this, we're going to go and see if we can fit the PowerFlex insert into here, making the most of whilst we've got access to it. So I've just grabbed an insert from upstairs and thought we'd try and pop it in here. This is an FK8 engine mount insert. Unfortunately, by the look of it, it looks like we can't fit it into the mount here. The rear will go in, but there's a difference around that front area to the construction of the mount, so unfortunately that's not going to work. Our replacement tailpipes turned up just in the nick of time, so we get these unboxed and put onto the car. So we finished up on the fitting of our new Milltek exhaust on the FL5, and you can see the routing of it, it's going to be straight through. Once this valve is open, there's no limitations to the sound, so we get a good, well, we hope it's going to be a good sound out of this. The fitting of it is very similar to that of an FK8, and a lot of those parts already cross over. I think the main difference is really being the front pipe and the rear box here. But now that we're all fitted up, we'll get the rear valance completed and then the car onto the dyno and see how it sounds. Moment of truth then, let's see how it sounds. Where the valve would usually be controlled by the ECU, we've actually got our Romeo sound controller in place, which is going to allow us to vary the sound level from 25, 50, 75 and 100% opening of the valve, giving us more control over the sound. The exhaust sounds pretty impressive as it is already, and the valve allowing us more control over that sound. So let's get onto the dyno next and see if we've gained any extra power. Hope you've enjoyed watching today and seeing some of the work that we've been up to on the FL5. Obviously with the new exhaust on, it's really starting to sound as the Type R really should do. Next week, we're going to be looking at some of the wiring and, like I mentioned before, about the Romeo sound controller as opposed to the Honda wiring, and seeing which one of those we're going to get the better gains from. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, please hit the like, share and more importantly the subscribe button. We've got a lot more content to come, and next up will be a big brake kit. That's going to be going onto the front, but we've also got a set going onto the rear. Amongst those parts going on, we've got a prototype intercooler to get tested, and then shortly after that, the car will be making its way round to Venturi for Bill to start his intake development.